This episode is... It's a Ringo alert. Playhouse members, get your Ringo viewers out. That's better. Uh-oh. Ringo could be hit by the Mr. Magoo car. Yikes. Thanks, Popeye. You're in the Playhouse. Welcome to the Playhouse. I'm Uncle Paul, and it's time for our very special hellos. Hello to Andrew of Parlogram, Nick the Record Lover, Matthew Street, Beatly Tone, Dave Sundstrom, Brendan Snyder, Beatle Dave, Beatle Brad, Jerome Luby, Beatle Dustino, Mark Williams, Ron Gilday, Beatle Babe Jennifer, Clifford and Susan, Kelly, first generation fan Mr. Winston O'Boogie. Now, if you'd like a special hello, or you'd like to dedicate a special hello to someone in your life, or even your pet, please leave it in the comments below, and we'll say hello in a future episode. But that's our very special hellos for today. Well, it's time for another object, presentation, artifact, showcase. Today, we're talking about the world of TV guide collecting, which is, it's not even a niche collecting form anymore. Maybe nowadays, because, they still make TV guide. Yes, that's true. You can subscribe to TV guide. But people that generally collect them, their heart is with what they call the classic TV guide, the digest versions. TV guide now, this is an older one that they were experimenting with back in 1991. But after the digest version, they made them magazine size, and they were still tailored for each one of the markets. But for real, not many people collect modern TV guides or this style of TV guide. They collect the classic TV guide. And this, of course, this is a great one. This is the original Flintstones, of course, TV guide. And of course, TV guide also was 15 cents for a very long time in the mid-60s. And this is a nice one, by the way, because it doesn't have a Melee label on it. Most people that they subscribe to TV guide rather than buying it off their newsstands. Now, we're going to do another TV guide episode in the future where we will showcase classic TV guides. But at the Playhouse, what do we love to usually start with? The Beatles. So we're going to this episode is all about the world of collecting Beatles cover TV guides. Now, I want to say from the beginning that in recent years, they have made a lot of specialty covers, more than the Playhouse has decided to even collect. So we're just going to be showing you a select core of TV guide covers, going back to the vintage days of TV guide. Now, we did want to, before we start that, I wanted to show you something that we ran across that came out relatively in the last few years or so. You'll see right here, see that this is from the editions of TV Guide magazine. And this was a special collector's edition called The Beatles Forever, the TV Guide magazine special. And inside this, they go into a very deep history of special events that were on TV relating to the Beatles, of course, and previous past covers that we're about to show you. But also, like here, they talk about the original Beatle cartoon series, which again we also will be covering in a future episode of the Playhouse, because here at the Playhouse we're a huge fan of the Saturday morning Beatles cartoon series. And then they show other times that the Beatles were on television. Like the first time that the Beatles' Hey Jude Revolution promotional films were shown in America, it was on the Smothers Brothers show. And so they show you this, which is nice to give you the dates of those type of things. Or when John and Yoko hosted the Mike Douglas show in 1972, they give you the week that it was on in syndication, February 14th through the 18th, 1972. Or when, of course, Lorne Michaels made his famous appeal to the Beatles to reunite on Saturday Night Live in November May 20th. It says May 22nd and November 20th, 1976. That's probably when George decided to come and collect his share of the money. And of course, many Playhouse members know that the night that this original offer was made, which would have been, here, I think I'm reading it wrong, it would be April 24th, the first time this bit appeared in 1976. Paul McCartney, and this is a true story, I don't think this is in folklore, was actually visiting John Lennon at the Dakota, and they were watching Saturday Night Live. What is the chance of that? When Lorne Michaels did this little joke bit about giving the Beatles $3,000 to reunite on Saturday Night Live. And I don't think I've ever actually heard it out of their mouths, but supposedly they really considered, since they were just watching it, running down to 30 Rockefeller Center and showing up at the end of the broadcast. Of course, not the play, but just imagine if John and Paul would have shown up on Saturday Night Live just together. Amazing things that, well, just never got to happen, or never did happen. All right, now, of course, the Beatles first were in TV Guide on the inside. Yes, them being on Ed Sullivan on February 9th, 1964 was such a big deal that they had what they called back in those days a close-up. Okay, now this is not the Ed Sullivan one, but just for Playhouse members that aren't familiar with close-ups in TV Guide, if something was very special that's going to air that night, instead of just giving it some information in their regular program listings or a promotional ad, the editors of TV Guide would tell you as much as they knew about it. So on February 9th, 1964, that issue, when the Beatles were first on Ed Sullivan and their debut to America, it does say that this British group from overseas was going to make their much anticipated television debut on the Ed Sullivan Show. But the Beatles did not have any type of cover until 1981. Sadly, a year after John's assassination. So this is the first time that a Beatle appeared on the cover of TV Guide under the banner of 1 year later, TV and the John Lennon tragedy. I think the article then focuses on basically how the news covered that. Because don't forget also, for those Playhouse members that didn't live through it, that was the first time that a celebrity was taken from us in such horrific conditions. It generally, if I'm not misquoting myself even, it generally had only happened to politicians or very high profile people. But I mean, John Lennon was high profile, but he certainly wasn't a politician or a president or someone of tremendous influence, I would say. I'm thinking obviously of Martin Luther King. But so John Lennon, here he is on the November 21st to 27th, 1981 edition. And again, the first time that a Beatle was showcased on the classic digest TV Guide versions. Now we have to wait all the way till the Beatles Anthology, and this is a very popular issue, and it's collected by many people. The Beatles Anthology debuted over 3 nights on the ABC television network, and this was a giant hit when we got to get Free as a Bird and Real Love, and ABC played nine, 6 hours of the anthology, again, over 3 nights. So they called this Beatles 95. And this is just a terrific cover showing them in all different periods of their lives. In fact, it said that Ringo here, this is a solo shot that they chose. But again, in front of the backdrop of the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band album. Again, this is a favorite. So now another resurgence happened in the year 2000 when the Beatles released their compilation hits album, One. And this led to, and there was a TV special that it was all about how the Beatles influenced many things. It was called the Beatles Revolution. So at this time, TV Guide was starting to realize that they could create collector covers. And maybe then the serious collector would have to go out and buy the same issue 4 times, which is all right. So there's 4 collector covers that they released, one of each Beatle, on November 11th to 17th of the year 2000. And then we showed this one in our Happiness is a White Album Christmas episode. Now, this was part of the Beatles 2000 issues that we just showed you of the 4 collectors cover. But this one is extra special because this one you did have to mail away for. You couldn't find this at your local supermarket on the newsstand even. You had to send away, I don't know what it was, but it was cheap, $5 or $6. And I know a lot of people, because it was just so unique to have a real, this is the same issue from November 14th, okay, November 11th through to 2000, all right? So it's the exact same contents that are inside, but they wrapped it around this, and it's extra thick cover. It's glossy, white all around, with just the Beatles 2000. Everything's embossed, even the date, November 11th through 17th, 2000. The little TV Guide logo is here, and here's TV Guide. It's all embossed. We're going to try and show it to you as much as possible. And this says here, which is resembles the White Album, meaning the word "the" is even in upper and lower case, matches the album, and Beatles is all in uppercase, and then 2000. This is a nifty. If you collect Beatle TV Guides, I'm sure that this would be an essential part to be in the collection. Now we move on to 2001, when Paul McCartney was doing his documentary called Wingspan, and then Paul got his own exclusive TV Guide cover, and these are relatively easy to find. They're not a lot of money. Nice, cheap collectible to have. And then, of course, sadly, when George passed away, this is from December 2001, a tribute to people that we had lost. George got his own TV Guide cover, his inspired musical legacy and spiritual journey. And they picked a really nice, circa around 1968 photo of George for this cover. And then, of course, I'm not sure what the subject was, why they did this one, but it was November 2002 already. Maybe because Paul was so popular on the first cover, Paul got his another solo cover. It's nice. McCartney on George, Heather, and Sons-in-Law, and Rocking the TV Once More. I'm sure there was a special concert that was going to be on. So again, that is a very brief view into the collecting of TV Guide covers. As I said, there's a lot of specialty covers, including the Shea Stadium cover that comes to mind. But there are a lot. They did a commemorative for the Ed Sullivan Show. So as I said, we know we left out a lot, but we just wanted to touch upon the classic digest versions of TV Guide. And now it's time to check the comments bowl. But wait a minute. This bowl just has a bunch of Ricochet rabbits in it. Let's see. It's over here. These aren't comments. Just a bunch of ricochet rabbits. In fact, they're multiplying. Well, I guess that's what we would expect from Ricochet. Look at that. It's a pink Ricochet rabbit from New York Comic Con. Yellow one. Oh! Here's the comments bowl. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and like, and maybe your comment will get in the comments bowl. So we're going to shake it up. I'm going to really take one at random. This isn't planned. This is regards to episode 2, Wonderful Memories of First Record Player. And member Polly Hewitt commented that she forgot about the group Underground Sunshine doing their cover version of Birthday. And she loved the Flying Nun figure. She thought it was cute, that you could probably see in the background. A lot of members have commented that they like seeing all the stuff that surrounds us in the Playhouse. Well, thanks, Polly. And if you want to be in the comments bowl, it's simple. Just please leave us a comment. And for now, the Playhouse is closed. Thanks, Joe Friday.